Right. So let's see chapter 13, Vendor of Sweets summary. So here actually by the end of the novel, we find quite a lot of interesting things, quite a lot of important things as well. So I would rather like to say that jargon actually has changed by the end of the novel. When we consider him and rather contrast him, thinking about the life he had at the beginning of the novel and by the end of the novel, we see quite a lot of contrasting points. So jargon seems to have changed, and the basic thing he wants in life by now is not dedicating his life for others. It's not completely doing everything for the son only, but finding solace, sahana, for his life as well. So let's see a few points regarding these factors. Jargon, as all known, is a good follower of Gandhi's Ahimsa or non-violent movement. And he spins cotton on the domestic spinning wheel, makes homespun Indian cotton cloth or khadar. So he is such a character. From the beginning, we see that he is a follower of Gandhi, very innocent person, minding his own business, right? And he reads the Bhagavad Gita and leads a simple life, and he lets his parents choose a spouse for him, and thus he shows that he has respected the age-old customs and rituals of marriage too. So as a child, as a husband, as a father later on, as a businessman, we always find out that jargon is actually symbolizing people with a good traditional foundation. Whatever his role is, tradition is a foundation. From the very beginning to the end of the novel, we find this. However, people who came after the Gandhian movement or during the post-colonial context, post-colonial means after colonialism. So jargon belongs to the Gandhian movement time. He was a part of the national movement, national struggle. He was born and he also led most of his life during the colonial time, during the time the British ruled India. And he was, proudly talking about his contribution, Dayakatte, to make, all these colonial people go out of the country, how he was even imprisoned because of the movement's work, etc. So jargon is part of the colonial context, but Mali or the generation after that is coming under the post-colonial context after colonialism was over. So the people who are like jargon or the elderly people and the younger people are quite different with regard to their attitudes, behavior, expectations, exposure, niravarane vichdeval, etc. So they depict or they show quite an opposite behavior. Sampurna paraspara virodhi venas hasrim ratawan saha balapurattu saha thinking pattern hitana vidya, and have different attitudes. Jargon also faces this issue like other parents. Why? He also has a young son with modern ways. So under his roof also there is a clash, a constant clash, a father and a son who are thinking in diverse or different ways are there. Thus, by the end of the novel, we find a different jargon who wishes to have a change and solace in his life without only dedicating his whole life for his only son. So at the very beginning, we find that everything is done by jargon for the betterment of Mali, thinking of Mali, etc. But now he wants to take something more for himself. He wants to have solace. He wants to have some happiness for his life. He is almost 60. So the last phase or last stage of his life is important for him. He is like fed up of all the other things and needs a break, needs a change. So let's see the next few points. So by the time we come to chapter 13, Jagan is quite disappointed about Mali's behavior, right? On one hand, Mali's marriage, on the other hand, how he treats Grace, on the other hand, how he does a business, how he expects the father to give money, his whole behavior, the fact that he's not talking, communicating much, etc. And also the fact that he's denouncing or like refusing to accept the family business, all that. Furthermore, Mal is kind of an iconic or very, idealistic figure, a very important person in the society. But at home, he doesn't treat the father well. He doesn't even look after him well. So Jagan is quite disappointed. In most of the situations, a man who is 60 years would have a celebration, but Jagan would be not having it seems, right? No one is bothered, like even though he has come to 60 years of age. So he is so much depressed. Mali has also, we know that, found a spouse without consulting the father, without considering the tradition. Mali has made Jagan feel distressed, worried by saying about the importance of eating beef. Thus, he has even violated one of the 5 Hindu rules or shastras, that is not to kill a cow or to eat its meat. And also, as I have already said, Mali expects Jagan to give him money, right? Jagan to give him money for the business. So all these things make Jagan feel so depressed. While the older generation has relied on a spiritualism, like religion, thinking about the good side, thinking about afterlife and the betterment, throughout their lives, the younger and the modern generation seem to have kicked that aside pitilessly. The younger generation doesn't mind that. They do what they want, right? And then the modern generation is only attracted to superficial, Matupita Deval, superficial and materialistic things only. So that is very much clear, right? Whatever is there, Jagan is happy about the Indian context. But Mal is not like that. He talks about not having a vehicle, not having a food, not having a speediness in everything in India. So he is attracted to superficial Matupita Deval and materialistic things. Right? For him, relationships, things like tradition, marriage, customs, those things do not matter. So all these things that have happened make Jagan seriously decide as what he should do during the last phase or last stage of his life. And by this time, we also get an important idea about these factors. According to Shastras or according to Hindu beliefs, everyone has 3 earthly attachments, right? A man is attached to the world because of 3 things. Number 1, wife. Number 2, son or children. Number 3, wealth. Right? But now at the beginning of the novel, Jagan was so attracted to those. Why? For the whole family actually symbolized that. So family mattered, right? The son was the only thing that mattered later on in his life after the death of the wife. Wealth, he was doing the business, expecting that, okay, one day Mali will accept this, etc. But finally, by the end of the novel, we see that Jagan decides to move away from materialistic accumulation, collection of wealth, and also to leave Mali, his business and home. Everything Jagan loved, everything Jagan embraced as his own, he now is ready to leave and go. Because now he has strongly decided he wants 2 things in life, solace and happiness, at least in the last part of his life. This is called as sannyas, or the last stage of a traditional Hindu's life. A traditional Hindu seems to have, according to their traditional beliefs, few stages in life. A child who studies, who is under the guidance of parents, a young man who studies and collects material things, middle-aged man who is established, ජීවිතේ පරිණත at a matured age, who is established in life by that time, having a family life, house and materials, etc. And as an old man, given into the upliftment or development of a spiritualism. So now, as always, he has led his life. Jagan is going to lead the last part of his life also according to religion and customs. That is by going for a retreat, going away from his home and family in search of having a chance to lead a very religious life. And also, by the time we come to chapter 13, we also understand few things that makes us actually feel so worried about and so sad about Jagan and pity him. Jagan has gone through a lot of troubles because of Mali. Even after 10 years of marriage, Jagan and Ambika did not have a child. We know that. And they were pressurized by the extended family, especially by the mother-in-law. And Ambika was sad sometimes and angry at other times, right? Because her fertility was questioned. Jagan was also very worried, and as a result of Ambika's cynical, funny comments, sometimes Ambika blamed the Jagan, told things to Jagan also because she was also depressed. Jagan so went out to sleep alone in the veranda. So they had so many troubles, so much sadness. Finally, the couple even had to resort to or find a solution in religion in order to solve this infertility, can't bear a child, infertility issue. With such troubles, they got Mali, right? And not only that, after Mali was born, the parents fulfilled the promise with offerings to the Badri hill. They offered gold, silver, corn to the god as similar to the weight of the child. Right? And Mali was born in Ambika's paternal home, that means in Ambika's father's house, according to the tradition, and came to Jagan's house only after 3 months. There was a big feast, a celebration to celebrate the birth of the son, and everyone was proud about the newborn baby. All this proved the traditions, customs related to birth, and also how much dedicated and happy Mali's parents were. So they really had troubles, but they really had a lot of good hopes for Mali. But there is a problem. Whether Mali was a good son who made the parents happy as an adult is an issue. We know that when Ambika was sick, Mali came home quickly after school to feed her, to be near the mother. He loved the mother, cared for the mother, but was angry with the father for not taking her to a doctor early. And he had this in his mind that maybe because of the father, the mother died soon. So that antagonism or that kind of anger was, or kind of grudge was inside Mali. Anyway, Jagan had done everything he could for Mali, for Ambika. He never had done, anything wrong. So Mali, at least as an adult, should have understood better and treated the father, understood the father well as well.